How's it going, everybody? My name is Nyasha. I'm a telecommunications engineer and I'm also a co-founder for a company called Training Beats. So Training Beats is a company that provides telecommunications and training services for the telecommunications space, be it your ISPs, your wireless service providers, and things like that. And well, today I'm not talking about that. Maybe I'll make a separate video about that. Today, I want to talk about a program that we've just released. It's called Skillsync. And what we're going to talk about is what is Skillsync, what does it aim to achieve, and the learning modalities. That's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible. I do apologize in advance. I have a problem of getting too excited and I talk too much. So I'll try to make this video as short as possible. So if you guys are ready, I'm ready. So let's jump. All right, so let's look at the problems first. Then we're gonna look at how Skillsync tries to solve those problems. The first problem I'm gonna talk about is skills mismatch. I don't know if you guys, the recruiters and your company directors and people responsible for hiring people who can attest to what I'm talking about. You have a situation in the tech industry where you receive someone's CV, they have a number of certifications, all of them. They have CCNA, they have CCNP, they've done Microtics, they've done Juniper, they've done Microsoft, they have done Azure, they've everything. And when you interview these people, they have their knowledge does not match what they've put as their qualifications. So there's a huge discrepancy between the qualifications and the knowledge that they have. Remember, every qualification that you are going to study has objectives and outcomes. So they would say, you do your CCNA, these are the objectives, these are the outcomes. You should be able to know 1, 2, 3, 4. You should be able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. So when a recruiter looks for someone, they look at those objectives and say, okay, this is what we need. So they look at that and say, okay, so if I need to fulfill this role, this is what I need. I need somebody that has this much experience and these qualifications. When they look at the qualifications, they're literally looking at basically the outcomes, which is your objectives and outcomes. But what has happened, or what is happening now, is that much of the time, or many times, you'd find that these qualifications that people are doing, they're not mentioning that. So you have to interview 30, 40 people to find only a single person that actually matches what they've said on the CV. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that, and when I started when I was still younger, in my younger years, I had the same issue. I was just, anybody tells me about any certification, I'll just jump into it and start studying. There was no mapping of skills to the different job roles. So you need to have like your targets. If I'm learning it, if I'm targeting a level 2 job and I'm at level 1, I want to be able to work at level 2, which is in some companies they call them knock. What do I need? I need to learn this, that, and that. So I need to certify those skills so that it allows me to qualify for that particular role. And we find situations where people are just doing certifications all over the place. So the recruiter looks at it, he sees, okay, this is a network engineer. He's looking for a network engineer position, but he's done data science, he's done cybersecurity, there's, Python there, somewhere there's HTML, there's different things. He's done full stack web development, there's a Coursera course there's a Udemy course somewhere, So there's no structure in what someone's learning. So you fail to understand what does this person really want to do. So that's the second issue. The third issue is practical. When you're learning something, you have to practice. And to practice is not just learning how to configure things. There has to be an objective. So for instance, you have to map a problem to a solution. When someone is practicing something, there must be a problem that has been identified. And when you are learning that this is the problem and this is how I resolve it, if you just learn how to configure things in isolation, you're not really learning much. So you find that there are technicians that they will know how to configure VLANs, But if you give them a scenario and you tell them that configure a technology that will solve this problem, if you don't put the word VLAN, they're not going to figure out what you need to do. They literally need you to say, please configure VLANs, So, but this is not how you learn, because when you get into the industry, there is no exam. You're getting paid to actually do some stuff. So you need to figure out that this problem requires this solution, or it requires this technology. Then lastly, you'd find that in some cases, there are a lot of colleges, but the issue is that some people are working, they don't have the time to actually commit to this. So the learning is kind of difficult, because maybe sometimes they have to commit and they won't be able to get enough time to be able to attend school to do it properly. So that is another problem that causes students just to give up and say, you know what, I really can't get the time, so obviously I'm not going to be able to do it. So those are the problems that we try to solve with the Skillsync problem. All right, so how do we solve those problems? We've mentioned problems. Now we want to look at the solutions. So the first solution that we've done is that you have to start with the problem. So we looked at, okay, our target market is the telecommunication space, which is mainly your ISPs and wireless internet service providers, basically small to medium ISPs. All right, and we said the first thing that we need to look at is let's divide the job roles of technical support into levels, which they're already divided, by the way. So there's already level 1, level 2, level 3. And we said, okay, we need to focus on level 1 and level 2. On level 3, already at that level, you kind of know what you need in life, you know which certifications to do. So the problem is always when you're starting out in the telecommunication space. So we said, okay, now let's structure what does somebody at level 1 and level 2 needs to know. Then we looked at the certification that were available in the market, and we said, okay, we can use that certification, we can use that certification, and we can use that certification. And we still had a gap that we understood that these objectives are not being met anyway within our certifications. So we developed our own course, which we offer inclusively with the ones that are already available. All right, so we came up with our own structure, and that's basically what Skillsync is. That's the main pinnacle of Skillsync. That is a targeted approach to solve a particular problem. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that no matter how much theory you can teach someone, you have to match it with some practical scenarios. It has to be as real as possible. Something that someone, when they go inside a telecommunications company, if they've never worked, they can tell that, oh, that's the radio server that those guys were talking about. Okay, that's a fiber network operator. Okay, that's what they do. We have learned about them. We know about them. Oh, this is a point of presence. Okay, that's a data center. I see. See, these things like that. So it mustn't be something that your students are going to be learning, or students are going to be learning, and when they get into the industry, they get to the job, they have no clue of what is going on. So we have made sure that the practical side of the program allows the student that when they are done with the practicals, when they get into the telecommunication space, they already know that I must be seeing this, I must see that, I must see this, I must see that. And this is how I need to respond to a customer. I need to be able to speak like this, I need to speak like that, I can't say this, I can only do it this way, things like that. So that is the first thing that we did. So the main thing is that it is a career-centric training program, and it is also a practical real-world focus. So those are the two main things that set this program apart. The other third thing is learning flexibility. We have made sure that this program can be, a lot of people, especially those that are working, they do not have the time. So what we have decided to do, what we've done is that 80% you're going to be doing online. We have live lessons that you're going to attend, and you have materials that you're going to read. You will give you labs that you need to attend to. That obviously some of them are practicals where you're going to configure stuff, And the 20%, you literally have to come to site. Mostly though, that part of the training, you include your final examination. When you're done, you're going to write a full-blown examination where you're going to build a working and functional network from a project that you're going to give to you. You'll be able to take that project, look at the bill of quantities, look at what you need for that project, how much cable you need. You're going to measure and say, okay, this is how much cable I need. This is the type of cable that I need. This is the type of switch that I need. And you're going to take all that and design and implement and configure and verify. All right. So obviously that 20% you would have to come to site. When you are done, we're going to do continuous career support. You're going to help us. We're going to stay in touch, and we'll make sure that we assist you in your career growth. I'd rather train 10 people a year that I know that they are doing well in their careers than train 100 people that I'll never see again. So we want to make sure that all our students, they get continuous support as they develop in their careers. Now, with this program, we have two distinct programs, two flavors of this program. We have what we call the Skillsync Lite. Now, the Skillsync Lite is designed for people that haven't worked in the telecommunication space and they want to join. Now, Skillsync Lite, you are not attached to any company, so the material is the course material is the same, but you are not attached to any company, so it's a slightly little bit different. Then we have Skillsync Plus, which is a customized training for an ISP. So if you are an ISP company, we can structure that training based on the system that you're actually using so that it's more customized. So those are the two flavors that we have. The Skillsync Plus is only sold to ISPs, and the Skillsync Lite is open to everybody. So I hope this covers everything, and I don't want to make this video too long. If you have any questions, please contact us. Our email is info@trainingbits.co.za. Otherwise, it's bye for now.